Okay, so how do you describe the 60s?
I thought we were going to hell in a handbasket.
The Democratic National Convention of 1968 happened throughout northern Chicago during August 26th to August 29th. It was a menagerie of gruesome and revolutionary events that forever shaped and shook the very foundations of the 60s and years to come.
I just came out of the service from Vietnam, went right on the police force, and it seemed like just at that instant, everything went crazy. I mean, the assassinations, everything. It was just, and the convention. It was just, I didn't think we were going to last. I really got concerned.
The economic, social, and political tensions of the Vietnam War, Martin Luther King and the Kennedy assassinations, along with the leadership of the mayor, police, and activists, caused the violence of the Democratic Convention of 1968, dooming Democrat candidate Humphrey and changing the reputation and identities of both activist and political institutions. Background. The Democratic National Convention of 1968 took place after John F. Kennedy's and Robert Kennedy's assassinations, breaking the heart of the nation. The Kennedys had been beloved for their altruistic and patriotic attitudes. Meanwhile, Martin Luther King's assassination was also affecting the country, which caused riots and the burning of buildings. The very controversial Vietnam War, raging on top of everything, created an even more hostile and violent atmosphere. All these events caused protests and riots all over the nation, whether it was against the Vietnam War, the assassinations, or women's liberation. The 60s were defined as a turbulent decade of civil unrest and political tensions. Causes. Yippies tried in vain to acquire a permit to protest and sleep in Lincoln Park, and the MOBE, aka the National Mobilization Committee to End the War in Vietnam, tried applying for a permit to rally and march at the amphitheater. The MOBE was an umbrella organization for activist
Chicago,
groups against the Vietnam War,
place.
such as SCS and the Yippies. Rather than accept defeat, the Yippies went along with their festival of
from the convention amphitheater.
life anyways. They spread their ideas, plans, and tips for street survival through a myriad of flyers and through an underground newspaper called Chicago Sea. The incredible tensions of the assassinations of Martin Luther King and the Kennedys and the Vietnam War were sparked between the press, police, and protesters in this pressure cooker of combustible, ready-to-explode social issues. Robert Kennedy's assassination left many Democratic senators to lose faith and commitment and further divided the Democratic Party. Events. Through August 26th to August 29th, the Democratic Convention took place at the Chicago Amphitheater, to Lincoln Park, and to the Conrad Hilton Hotel. Democrats arrived under anxious circumstances. Many posters and banners exclaimed, "Welcome Democrats," while the Democrats walked through fenced and barbed-wired walkways. On top of everything, the taxi drivers were on strike, forcing the Democrats to find other means of transportation. Debates roared on in the amphitheater, where some reporters such as Dan Rather and Mike Wallace were roughed up on live television. There were protests at the Civic Plaza, and MOB training sessions going on and being planned in Lincoln Park. Many demonstrators engaged in activities to make fun of the system and to voice their opinions, such as having women-only pickets and naming their own presidential candidate, Pegasus the Pig. After the failed attempt to get a permit for their protest and sleeping in Lincoln Park, the Yippies did it anyway, firing conflicts and battles with the police and National Guard.
And Mayor Daley says the parks close at 11 o'clock. They always have, they always will. And at 11 o'clock, any of those people in the park, we're going to clear it out. We were saying to ourselves, we got them right where we want them. They're in the park, they're contained, they're not doing anything right now other than whatever they do. And why upset them? And sure enough, they ought to get the gas, clean out the park.